What's up, Stream Geeks? In this video, I want to talk about how you can host in-person and hybrid events where you can truly engage in-person attendees at an event, but also virtual attendees, online attendees who can really get to know your speakers and interact with the people on site at an event and those who are joining virtually. You can vastly increase the number of people who can attend your event by offering virtual tickets and online attendance options. And in this video, I want to show you how you can go beyond just a live stream of the content and really start to offer interactive options that will make people stay, increase their focus and engagement. You can see here we had a podcast at the 2024 StreamGeeks Summit for speakers to go to interact and have breakout sessions with our online audience, which ended up being 5 times as large as our in-person audience. This event at the StreamGeeks Summit was in downtown Philadelphia, but we had virtual attendees from all across the globe, coming in from Australia and New Zealand, in Europe and Asia. So with all of these people coming together, having the virtual event where we could really bring people together to interact and engage. We had a great live stream, but beyond the live stream, giving the virtual attendees a really awesome Zoom events experience. I'm going to show you how we set it all up and how the technology works so that you can see behind the scenes how the StreamGeeks Summit was set up and how you can set up events just like this, where you've got a podcast, you've got interactivity, multiple Zoom sessions, breakout rooms. So let's jump into it. So first of all, chatting on a live stream is great. Getting engagement on social media, showing the social media algorithm that you've got viewers, that's wonderful. But we can create a funnel of interactivity where users can get more and more out of your event by joining an exclusive Zoom meeting and even hosting breakout sessions for special interest groups, and really enhance the ability to have interactivity, whether you're in person or online. And that's the really amazing thing. And I'm going to give you some tips. Obviously, you want to build an awesome event for the in-person attendees. And you've probably come to the decision of wanting to live stream so that you can have virtual attendees, whether they're paid virtual tickets or you're live streaming to increase the exposure for your event. And you've probably made a decision to live stream to Facebook and YouTube and other destinations. But have you considered also hosting a Zoom meeting so that you can have additional interactivity options through Zoom or through Microsoft Teams? Now, for the StreamGeeks Summit, we hosted we used the Zoom Events platform. And I have a little video here I'll show you of that. You can see the Zoom Events platform here. We had multiple Zoom tracks going. So you had one track for the main presentations and then another track for Zoom breakout rooms where we could have virtual networking spaces. And then in person, the speakers could actually go to those breakout rooms and answer specific questions through that podcasting space that we showed recently. So this has been a tried and true solution that we've used for quite a long time. And I'm going to show some of the details here to really increase interactivity. So by live streaming and hosting a virtual event, you can drastically increase your interactivity and online attendance. And I'm going to show you some pathways for increasing that engagement. When you start designing your experience, whether it's in person or online, there's generally a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this is something that Joseph Pine from the Experience Economy talks about, where we have to start by enticing the audience, generating excitement, setting the stage, and kind of drawing the curtain, right, and preparing the audience. And then we start the action, right? Then we start to engage, and we introduce a little drama, and we ascend to a climax, and we build toward an exit, and we sort of push the limits and extend toward an end, toward a post-show. This is what you can do with your live stream. So in the beginning, you may have a presentation. You may have a host-led trivia or other interactive, engaging options during the live stream track here on the left. But on the professional development side, you can have the presenters join a breakout Zoom session and start to collaborate. You can even break out into special interest groups. And there's several ways to do that, and I'm going to show how the Zoom breakout sessions work and why it's such a great way to organize and really increase the engagement that virtual attendees can have at your event. Now, interactive learning is super awesome. We had tried this at the StreamGeeks Summit where you can have interactivity. This is something that crosses the boundaries between in-person and virtual attendance because everyone can be on the same cloud platform and working together on host-led trivia questions. When you think about this, what's the purpose? What are the people? What are the programs? And what are the properties there? They're kind of the 4 Ps there. And I want to show some of the tech behind this setup. We were using PTZ cameras, as you probably saw. We actually had a remote producer because you don't have to have everyone on site these days. We had a remote producer using PTZOptics Hive, controlling the robotic cameras. We had remote Zoom people managing the networking sessions. So the cool thing about all this cloud stuff is not everybody has to be on site anymore. There's so much that can be done. In our session, you can see that we were using handheld microphones, but if you're in studio, I recommend these in-ear monitors. This is just an example of using that in a studio. And we had a live stream producer, and our live stream producer did a great job. His name was Nate Hall. You'll see what he's doing here. He was really mixing together a lot of video sources and PowerPoints to keep the live stream engaging, not just for the in-person experience and the live stream, but for the archival of that video so that we can have a high standard on YouTube for really good replays as well. That's so important in today's modern age. It's not easy to have a live stream producer. You want to have a good one who can manage all of this and understands the technical things that are going on. In this virtual event, for example, you can see we're actually showing the Zoom meeting. We've got a presenter who's in person and a presenter who is virtual, right? Blending all of this together is a really awesome way to do it. And we were using a Stream Deck, but you can use an X keys to make life simpler and easier to manage. And then think about having a co-host, right? At the StreamGeeks Summit in Philadelphia, we had an MC helping out, filling in the gaps in between each space. So it's really important to think about having a co-host. And then something to consider is using the power of public social media, right? The public internet, where you're going to get lots of views and lots of social media shares, and then bringing people into a more private Zoom meeting where you can have more, openness and easier ability to share. So when we're looking at this, we're going from a live stream to a video conference to interactivity, right? And you can integrate a lot of this into your website, into your ticketing, and into your community groups, right? Whether you have a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group. And I talk a lot about this strategy in my book, The Virtual Ticket, which is where a lot of this comes from. Now, when you have these open Zoom rooms, right, you can think about having like the social butterflies, right, who really want to just talk and chat. And you also have people who are more busy bees, right? They want to get things done. They want to know where they're at, get things done, and move on to the next thing. So think about those types of spaces that you can design through virtual events and Zoom meetings. So you can have these small breakout rooms. I recommend having a host, but you can have several people here and kind of have it be presenter-led. You can also capture that Zoom meeting and include it in the live stream. You can even share the Zoom meeting ID to make it very easy for people to go from social media to your private spaces. And I think that's an important thing to think about, whether you're using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or WebEx, right? You can capture that and bring it into the video streaming software that you're sending out to the world. Now, you're also going to want to make sure that your virtual attendees can hear the Zoom meeting. And we talk about this in the book, The Virtual Ticket, so I'm not going to go into this in too much detail. But you can see here we're sharing the meeting ID. We are letting people into the Zoom meeting, and then the on-site presenter can hear the far end. And that's a super important part of this. Now, another piece I wanted to mention more towards the end is the breakout rooms. Let me get to that piece. The breakout rooms happen when you're really trying to get to the high value engagement, where you're letting people choose which breakout room they want to go to. And Zoom has a feature called breakout rooms. It's for the administrator of that room. And you can use them in two ways. You can allow the participants to select which breakout room they would like to join, or you can randomly mix people together for like a mixer ice-breaking type of event for your virtual attendees. When someone joins a breakout room, there's a quick image that comes up, and you get into a breakout room where you can join multiple people inside of the Zoom meeting. So you can have a really powerful Zoom event where you're explaining, what's going on and having speakers lead the situation. But then you can move people around manually or automatically into these Zoom breakout rooms. Really, really powerful stuff for bringing people into rooms. You can broadcast messages into these rooms to keep things going. Now, I think I have a little bit of some examples here. Depending on your Zoom license, you can have up to 50 breakout rooms, and it kind of depends on how many participants that you need and how you want to break those out. But I just wanted to show one example from Joseph Pine, who we worked with to design this. There's something called a World Cafe, and that is a creative breakout session where you're mixing 4 to 6 people together and rotating them through several rounds, let's say 4 rounds, 15 minutes each. And as they move throughout these spaces, you can ask them to share the most important thing they learned in the previous session, so everyone's benefiting from the greatest ideas that are happening throughout the hour. Just an idea. I dig into a lot more of this in my book, The Virtual Ticket, which you can download for free at PTZOptics.com/book. But in general, I hope that you learned a lot here. Happy to answer questions about the technology that we use to host this very type of event in Philadelphia at our StreamGeeks Summit. We host StreamGeeks Summits every year. Next year will be our 7th StreamGeeks Summit, and we're really passionate about pushing the boundaries for virtual and in-person events. So I hope this video is helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below.